Hello and welcome to the Large Scale Scrum Framework course, where I will teach you everything you need to know to get started with the LeSS framework. Now, let's look at an overview of what you will learn. First of all, we will discover what is the LeSS framework. Then, we will provide the LeSS framework's principles. Third, we will illustrate the LeSS framework architecture. After that, we will go through the added components to achieve the LeSS huge framework architecture. Finally, we find the conclusion. The Large Scale Scrum, or LeSS, is a framework for scaling Scrum to multiple teams who work together on a single product. The LeSS framework seeks to apply the principles and ideals of Scrum in a large-scale enterprise context as simply as possible through defined rules and guides. In fact, LeSS has 10 principles. 1. The large-scale Scrum is a Scrum, which means apply Scrum in a large-scale context as simply as possible. 2. Transparency, which is based on tangible done items. 3. More with less, which means achieving more meaningful work by having less defined processes. 4. Whole product focus, which means one product backlog, one product owner, one shippable product, one sprint, regardless if 3 or 33 teams. 5. Customer-centric, which means to focus on learning the customer's real problems and solving them. 6. Continuous improvement towards perfection. In LeSS, change is continuous through experimentation and improvement, and change is the status quo. 7. Lean thinking. By creating an organizational system whose foundation is managers as teachers who apply and teach lean thinking and manage to improve. 8. Systems thinking. See, understand, and optimize the whole system and use systems modeling to explore system dynamics. 9. Empirical process control. Continually inspect and adapt the product, processes, behaviors, organizational design, and practices to evolve in situationally appropriate ways. And finally, we have the queuing theory. Understand how systems with queues behave in the R&D, research and development domain, and apply those insights to managing queue sizes, work in progress limits, multitasking, work packages, and variability. Now, let's explore the LeSS framework architecture. First of all, we have the product backlog. In fact, multiple teams building a single product work from a single product backlog that defines all of the items or work to be done on the product. At scale, the focus of the product owner changes slightly toward keeping an overview and ensuring the maximum return on investment in the product. Also, we find the Scrum Master that helps people to see beyond their individual perspective to the larger production system. We find also the teams. They work closely with customers on clarifying the definition of the items and with the product owner on the prioritization. The output of every sprint is called a potentially shippable product increment. The daily Scrum in LeSS is done per team and is no different than in single team Scrum. The product backlog refinement is needed within each sprint to refine items to be ready for future sprints. LeSS coordination and integration concentrates on how to support decentralized coordination while providing enough boundaries and structure to avoid chaos. Also, we find the LeSS sprint planning, which is consisted of 2 parts. The Sprint Planning 1 and the Sprint Planning 2. The Sprint Planning 1 focuses on selection of ready items from those offered by the product owner and definition of the sprint goal. However, the Sprint Planning 2 focuses on creating a plan of work to get to done for each item. The items and the plan of action or tasks comprise the sprint backlog. At the end of each sprint, we find the LeSS sprint review and retrospective. During this sprint review, customers and stakeholders examine what the teams built during the sprint and discuss changes and new ideas. At the end of the sprint, all the teams have their individual retrospectives. This is the same as one team Scrum retrospective. It aims to identify areas where you can improve. Finally, the overall retrospective, which is a new meeting in LeSS. Its purpose is to discuss cross-team organizational and systematic problems within the organization. Conceptually, there is one product-level sprint leading to one integrated, potentially shippable product increment. This practically means sprint planning for all teams is at the same time. Sprint review and sprint retrospective for all teams are at the same time. The team-level product backlog refinement doesn't need to be at the same time. Now, let's explore the LeSS Huge. In the LeSS Huge framework, when above about 8 teams, division is around major areas of customer concerns called requirement areas. This reflects the customer-centric LeSS principle. Concerning the size, a requirement area is big, usually with between 4 and 8 teams. Requirement areas are dynamic. Over time, an area will change in importance and then it grows or shrinks with teams joining or departing to or from another existing area. A new role appeared in the LeSS Huge, which is the area product owner. Also, we find the area product backlog. The product owner and the different area product owners form the product owner team. So for the roles, same as LeSS, plus 2 or more area product owners and 4 to 8 teams in each requirement area. The one product owner and the several area product owners form the product owner team. For the artifacts, same as LeSS, plus a requirement area attribute in the one product backlog and thus an area product backlog view for each area. For the events, there is still only one common sprint for the product. It includes all the teams and ends in a common potentially shippable product increment. To conclude, the LeSS framework is used when we have 2 to 8 teams. However, when we have more than 8 teams, we use the LeSS Huge. The LeSS and LeSS Huge frameworks share common elements: one product owner and one product backlog, one common sprint across all teams, and one shippable product increment. And thank you for watching, and goodbye.